Welcome back to the Created New Art Show. I'm your host, Ben. We're learning and exploring God's story through art. Last time, we learned about how God created the world and everything in it, and everything was perfect until people disobeyed God and sinned. Sin messed up the perfect relationship God had with his people and separates people from God. But that's not the end of the story. Today, we'll discover God's plan to rescue us from sin. Let's get ready to learn more. Sin entered the world, and from that time on, all people on earth were born with sin and were separated from God. But God had a plan to send Jesus, his son, to save people. Jesus is the Son of God, who came to earth as a human. In his whole life on earth, Jesus never sinned. He spent his time on earth helping people, healing them, performing miracles, and sharing the good news that people can be forgiven for their sins. Some people didn't like Jesus because they didn't think he was really the Son of God. They arrested him. Jesus went with them without fighting. He knew what was going to happen, and he went with them willingly. There was a Roman leader named Pontius Pilate, and his job was to figure out who should be punished. The people brought Jesus to Pilate. No one could find anything wrong with Jesus because he was perfect, but Pilate sentenced Jesus to die anyway. The people said Jesus should be crucified, which means he would die on a cross. People beat up Jesus and yelled mean things at him and put him on the cross. You see, Jesus could have asked God to save him, but he didn't. He knew that the only way for people to be forgiven of their sins was for him to die. So in the middle of the afternoon, when the sun was high in the sky, the day suddenly got as dark as night. Jesus looked up to the skies, cried out to God, and breathed his last breath. When Jesus chose to die for us, he was helping us be close to God forever and be forgiven of our sins. We can have a relationship with God and be a part of God's family. It was sad that Jesus died, but it showed his love for us. His death on the cross saves us, and that's our wonder truth today. Jesus showed his love by dying for us. Thanks for tuning in this week as we talked about the amazing love of Jesus as he died for us. Next week, tune in to hear the rest of the story of Jesus because it doesn't end with his death. Until then, don't forget, Jesus showed his love by dying for us.